Welcome. I Trapped the Devil was released in 2019 and was directed by Josh Lobo. It stars AJ Bowen, Jocelin Donohue, and Scott Poythress, and is about a man named Steve who believes to have trapped the devil. So this was a really interesting movie. I didn't really hear much about it, and watching the trailer, it looked interesting. I thought it had a cool concept of someone to believe to have trapped the devil and seeing how it affects him and how it affects his family. And we got that. Unfortunately, the movie isn't the best, and the plot isn't... Not the plot, I guess everything that happens within the movie isn't very done well, which we'll talk about. So I'll begin with talking about some of my pros, because they kind of tie into some of the cons as well. My first pro is the acting. This is excellently acted by Scott Poythress, AJ Bowen, and Jocelin Donohue. They're really the three characters that we only see throughout the whole movie. I think Chris Sullivan is the actor who is voice acting as the thing that's trapped. I'll say thing. It could be the devil. It couldn't. That's the whole thing. Is it actually the devil? Is it a man? Is it something more than that? That's all talked about. So I will be referring to the thing behind the door as a thing instead of giving anything away. So I think the thing behind the door is played by Chris Sullivan, and he does a great job as voice acting. But other than that, we really don't see that many other characters. There's 2 police officers, but that's it. It's really those 3 people. Steve, played by Scott Poythress, Matt, played by AJ Bowen, and Karen, played by Jocelin Donohue. They are our main characters, and they are excellent in their roles. It's a very, very, very strongly acted movie that, unfortunately, everything that happens in the movie, I want to say it comes down to a lot of the writing. The writing isn't very good, but it gets carried by our actors being fantastic. So it's that weird middle ground where you're like, man, I could see that these performances are great, but I wish there was more to the movie. I wish there was more. We don't get that, and I have to say it's a con, because it's such an interesting concept. This man believing to have trapped the devil behind a door, and how his brother and his brother's wife kind of come there like, yo, you are off your knockers over there. I do want to say I was a little distracted during this movie because I kept on imagining people with a Minnesotan accent, and it just made the movie really funny, but I did mostly pay attention, so... But yeah, in terms of pros, I've already said the acting, but the atmosphere that it sets up is very good. It's driven by grief, everything, and it's this trend now that's started since I think probably the late 2000s, and it's continued until now. Just grief basically controlling everything, but the grief is done very well in this movie. In terms of cons, like I said, the writing isn't very good, which really brings down a movie where you need the writing to be done very well. And another thing that I have to say that's kind of a con is the reveal at the end. It was very, very disappointing. There should have been... We should have seen more. They should have given us more hints. There were certain things that were hinted at, but we never got that much information. And, you know, I'm very much a show, don't tell kind of person, but they didn't really show us anything. They just kind of told us a few things. They showed us like a newspaper clipping or so, and that was it. I mean, they needed to show a little bit more than what they did. They didn't need to tell, which they really didn't, which that I respect. We needed to be shown more. So overall, I'd give this movie a 6 out of 10. And if you're really into psychological horror thrillers, I think that you would really like this movie. There's so much to it that I really liked, which was basically the acting, performances, and the atmosphere. Those are done very well. And I didn't even mention it in the review, but the blood and gore are very, very well done. But like I said, the writing isn't very good, and the ending is, I don't want to say is a build-up to nothing, but you feel kind of let off. So thank you everyone for watching this review, and be on the lookout for the Child's Play 2 review that will be coming out on Sunday. So be on the lookout for that, but let's flash forward to the next review.